Mr. Speaker, thank you for this treasure space to make my own comment on the budget statement presented by our colleague, Dr. Kasiel Atufosi. Mr. Speaker, I sat through the comments. I watched colleagues express their views in my office, and I must say that this House has the talent for the purposes of legislative governance. And I commend colleagues for all their efforts in making their views known on this budget statement. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, having listened to colleagues, it will be superfluous to add on to what has already been said for Hansa. But I have some views of my own, which, Mr. Speaker, I believe Hansa must equally record. Mr. Speaker, I have this to say by way of opener, and I rely on Shakespeare's Macbeth. Shakespeare wrote in Macbeth, "I have no spare to prick the size of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other." It is obvious that the NDC government, through its finance minister, presented to us a budget as hollow as it is, but with ambition, overleaping itself, falling on the other, which does not prick him. He decided to impose it on us as if the government means well. Indeed, it was an Azaaa budget with no promises, and the fact will speak for itself. Mr. Speaker, first, the Minister of Finance created the impression that the government of the NDC inherited an economy in crisis. Let me remind him of the facts. They inherited an economy growing at 5.7% in 2024, one with an agricultural sector growing at 2.8%, an industry sector growing at 7.3%, and the services sector growing at 5.9%. Mr. Speaker, added to this, the MPP government bequeathed an economy with 4 months of import cover. Obviously, this is not an economy in deep crisis. The NDC, in the minimum, should have been magnanimous enough to acknowledge this, as compared to their own resetting economy, which only aims at growing at 44% in 2025. Mr. Speaker, it is said in our local Akan language that we may be mawasia and bonu krono. In other words, if they have nothing to offer, they should not discredit the MPP administration. Mr. Speaker, I say that this budget is an Azaaa budget because this budget failed to acknowledge the success story of the previous administration and the effort made to revive the economy and sustain growth. Mr. Speaker, the minister in paragraph 21 of his own statement lamented the growing unemployment situation we have in the country. But what do we see? In less than 3 months in office, all we hear, sack them, sack them, sack them. And they do so without shame. Now they're creating a Ghana for NDC and a Ghana for others. If you belong to the Ghana of others, they don't care. They terminate your appointment and you have the ministers defending their actions. Since when did the employment after December 7 become an irregular employment? So far, it is only one minister who has lived up to the promises of the Constitution by refusing to sack Ghanaians in his ministry. But even so, it's too early to commend him. We wait to see what he's going to do. All other agencies are sacking Ghanaians, all because they do not have NDC party cards. This is a government for NDC apparatchiks. They don't believe in the Ghanaian dream. They don't believe in the promises of the Constitution. And they do so because they have no spare to prick the size of their intent. Only partisan ambition overleaping itself and falling on the other. Shakespeare reminds us of this. This is the character of the NDC. It is their party first and nothing else. We have seen how they approach issues of accountability. Mr. Speaker, we in the minority are not against accountability. We believe in accountability, but we are against abuse of human rights. Today, all the human rights lawyers in the NDC have kept quiet. They've gone to sleep. Where are their human rights lawyers? They are human rights lawyers who are in court enforcing the rights of citizens. Where are they? Today, Ghanaian citizens are detained by investigative agencies beyond 48 hours. Ghanaian citizens have their right being abused without taking them to court. The NDC, the bill, does not believe in the rule of law. And it is clear in their posture. So-called legal search, which ends up in intimidation. Today, if you even criticize them, they threaten you. If you criticize them, they threaten you. They threaten you. And they say, if you dare me, I would release the tape. Release the tape. We tired of the hate, the hypocrisy, and the double standards. We tired. Today, we have two Ghanas. One Ghana for the NDC, which is a Ghana of enjoyment, and another Ghana for the MPP and political opponent, which is a Ghana of pain and anguish. Is this the resetting you promised? Is this the resetting you promised? Today in our public service, whereas they are sacking Ghanaians, they are bringing their party full soldiers with questionable qualifications. Their party communication officers are filling all the PRO offices in our public service without interview. Have they so soon forgotten their own case in the Republic, in Donko versus the Republic? Have they forgotten the ruling in the case of Donko versus the Republic? Oh, NDC. Yatuaba Enuyenhu. Oh, NDC. Ghana for Enuamuhu. But, Mr. Speaker, the people of Ghana take solace in Ngugi wa Thiong'o's "Weep Not Child." Weep not, child, weep not, my darling. With these kisses, let me remove your tears. The ravening clouds shall not long be victorious. They shall not long possess the sky. You, the NDC, we are reminding you, you have only 4 years. The 4 years will soon come. If you spend the 4 years in persecution, your time will come. Your ravening clouds shall not long be victorious. They shall not long possess the sky. The power you have today is like an ice block. It started melting from December 8th, January 8th. and it will melt until the next elections. Utilize the power wisely. We want employment. The Ghanaian youths are unemployed. Many of the youths you are sending home. What should they go and eat? How should they feed their families? People are suffering. And you are refusing to provide opportunity for all. This is a country of equal opportunity. This is a country with a promise of fairness to all Ghanaians. If all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must be proven. If all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must be proven. Go to court and do the case. We're tired of the attacks in the media. The media trial must cease. This is a country of rule of law. This is not the country we are proud of. Go to court. To the NDC, go to court. Use the judiciary. Use the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, let me come to the so-called 24-hour economy. When the president came to this house, he promised us in his sona that the 24-hour economy will find expression in his budget statement. He told us. When Dr. Atufosin came here, he now tells us the 24-hour economy will come later. The policy will come later. So you lied to Ghanaians. How come in 2025, your maiden budget, the 24-hour economy policy is not featured in that budget? So 2025, we should forget about 24-hour economy. What you are doing in 2025, persecution, persecution, persecution. 2025, persecution, persecution, persecution. 2025, persecution, persecution, persecution. We want jobs. You said that you're going to create 24-hour economy. When Akufo-Addo promised free SHS, he did not defer the free SHS policy. Today, even in the education sector, I cry for the Haruna Idrisu Millet Ministry. What is there in the budget? Let's open the budget. He has been denied every opportunity to lead a policy in the education sector. Is a GET fund under the Ministry of Education? Now, free SHS is being managed by GET fund. And under GET fund is either to report to the finance minister or is going to report to the presidency. We don't know. Oh, Haruna. Oh, Haruna. Oh, Haruna. Mr. Speaker, they cannot. Mr. Speaker, they cannot start with lamentation.
Honorable Minority Leader.
They cannot, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is leaders debating. If you encourage this, Mr. Speaker, if you encourage this, you destroy the debate.
You invited Honorable
Mr. Speaker, I have not. Don't.
Because I saw you mentioning his name. Very well. Very well.
Mr. Speaker, they started with lamentation. They continue to lament. And even now, their ministers are lamenting. Oh, Haruna Idrisu. What have they given you? You have been given a portfolio without resources. The free SHS policy. Read the budget. Read the budget. Read the budget, Mr. Idrisu. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? They've taken all your powers from you. Mr. Speaker, this is Azaaa Budget. This is Azaaa Budget. And now let's even go to their so-called big push. The so-called big push. You promised $10 billion for this so-called big push on infrastructure. In your 2025 budget allocation, you are only allocating 13 billion Ghana cedis. Its equivalent is $800 million. Indeed, more research ampa. You promised $10 billion. Now, 4 years you have. Let's even say you want to divide this over 4 years. Do your mathematics. Even your maths is a suspect. Even your maths is a suspect. Now refer to paragraph 240 on page 49 of the budget. The minister asks why anyone would promise to build Agenda 111 hospitals and fail to allocate enough resources to complete them. Is this a question to ask? You've come to inherit a project. The health infrastructure of our country is critical. Instead of allocating resources to complete this project, you are here lamenting. You are here lamenting. Lamentation. 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 Meanwhile, refer to Appendix 4A, page 139 of the budget, Office of Government Machinery. When you were in opposition, you were complaining about 326 million for Office of Government Machinery. Today, you are allocating 2.7 billion cedis. Hey! 2.7 billion. 2.7 billion for Jubilee. Your party people at Jubilee House. You are spending 2.7 billion. Meanwhile, the big push
is pushing backwards.
It's suffering. Meanwhile, the woman in banking that you promised that you were going to establish a new bank for women, you gave them only 51 million cedis. And then you are paying party people. You've loaded party people at Jubilee and spending 2.7 billion cedis on them. Research alone is 70 million. What research? CSIR needs money. You are not giving them money. We need research to be done in our various hospitals. You are not supporting them. And then you are funding political research at Jubilee. 70 million cedis. 70 million cedis. We thank God that you have only one term. We thank God you have only one term. We thank God you have only one term. And you come here to say you are canceling the 1D1F. What is your dream for the private sector? What is your dream for the private sector? Economy can only grow when there is a thriving private sector. When you give space to entrepreneurs, when you give opportunity for Ghanaians to do their business and to grow the economy. This 1D1F initiative was aimed at helping the private sector so that they can do their businesses at a cheaper cost and employ more Ghanaians. You come, you say you are cancelling. In each place, what are you doing? In this your 2024 budget, what is there in the budget of the private sector? You can read and read and read. You can edit and edit and edit your notes. You will find nothing for the private sector. All you know is sack them, sack them, sack them. All you know is persecution, persecution, persecution. All you know is arrest them, arrest them, arrest them. But I want to assure you, that although we in the MPP and the minority we will walk through this valley of the shadow of death, we will not fear any evil. God will be with us. You can decide to arrest all of us. You can threaten all of us of arrest, but we'll come back stronger and defeat you in 2028. This government has reneged on its duty to the people of Ghana. A bona fide of a government is to create jobs, is to ensure good governance. And this NDC government has failed in that responsibility. You have failed. Today in this country, the only road being constructed is the Chain Home Road.
Yes.
The Chain Homes Road is the only road. It is the only road. Where is the commencement? Where is the commencement? The only road that you are constructing is the Chain Homes Road. That is where you are busy constructing the roads. You've left the roads in Adaku. You've left the roads in Norton. You've left the roads in Akaji South. You've left the roads in Winneba. The only road under construction is the Chain Home Road.
Akaji South Road has been abandoned in 2017.
Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about new contract. New contract. There's no new contract in Akaji South.
No obstruction.
Mr. Speaker, Boku Central Roads. Mr. Speaker,
It's full of potholes.
today, the only new runabout we are seeing is the Chain Homes one. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Where is the commencement? If you claim there is variation, what is the source of the variation? What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. You come here, all you know is to attack the Akufo-Addo government. You've forgotten that Akufo-Addo bequeathed you with a free SHS that was introduced and sustained. Today you are struggling. Mr. Speaker, you are struggling. The energy sector, Mr. Speaker, in 2017, when we inherited the reins of government, we had serious challenges in the energy sector. Light collection inefficiencies, high distribution losses, high generation costs. But what did the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government do? The Akufo-Addo government, the Bawumia government kept the lights on. Today, Dumso is back. Go to Ashanti region. Go to Ashanti region. Dumso by day, Dumso by night. Where is the energy minister? Where is the energy minister? Dumso is back. We need our lights on. We need our lights on. Stop the lamentation. Stop the lamentation. Stop the lamentation. You are in government. Your duty is to deliver on your promises. Your duty is to live up to expectation. All you know is persecution, persecution, persecution. All you know is arrest, arrest, arrest. You think by arresting people, you pollute the minds of Ghanaians and win power again. Owini power war. Owini don 2028 waba win. Mr. Speaker, they should know that the way to manage this economy is to live by the promises in their own manifesto. You came into office with promises. Don't throw your manifesto away. Don't throw your manifesto away.
Let it work.
Let your manifesto work. The road sector, you promise to deliver. Deliver. And don't limit your effort only at the Chain Homes Road. Enough. You've done so much there. Enough. This is Azaaa Budget. Azaaa Budget. Now, Mr. Speaker, let's go to agriculture. I weep for Erikopoku. I weep for Erikopoku. I weep for Erikopoku. They promised the minister on page 73, paragraph 390. This is what the minister says, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, we have allocated an amount of 1.5 billion for agriculture for economic transformation agenda of which Feed Ghana program, Ghana Grains Development Project, Vegetable Development Project, and Nkuko Nkete are all key components. Yet, on page 138 of the budget statement, under Appendix 4A, item number 13, the actual allocation for the initiatives under Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda is just about 924 million cedis and not 1.5 billion cedis.
Wow.
Oh, Eric Opoku. So now the man has been rendered redundant at the ministry. At the Ministry of Agriculture, there's nothing going on.
Nothing.
You made promises to the Ghanaian youth. You made promises to the Ghanaian youth that you are going to support them. Now you have given more money to Jubilee House for your party people than even to agriculture.
Serious.
You are spending money on your party apparatchiks at Jubilee House. 2.7 billion. Whereas agriculture,
It's 900 million.
our farmers who were expectant,
900.
our farmers who were expectant, you promised 1.5 billion and delivered 924. Even of that, a chunk of it is going into compensation.
Wow.
Where is your capex?
Wow.
Ah, NDC.
100 million keepers. I do.
Ah, NDC. Ah,
NDC.
Menyo, Menyo. NDC, show, Menyo. Why? You are not doing anything for the farmers in Volta region. Go to the Volta region, go to the Oti region.
Honorable, what you said in Hebrew, you have to translate it
Mr.
into
Speaker, it
English.
means it is difficult, it's painful. It's painful. What they are doing is painful. It's not good, it's not good, Menyo. Mr. Speaker, it's not good. What they are doing is not good. It's not good at all. They are not being fair to the people of Volta. They are not being fair to the people of Oti. Look at the arable lands in Volta region and Oti. Look at the lands in Savannah. Mr. Speaker, the poor farmers in Volta, the poor farmers in Akachi, the poor farmers in Chiame. Mr. Speaker, the poor farmers in Esojaman, they are not receiving any support. The poor farmers in Noton, as a center. Whole Central, whole East, whole West. Mr. Speaker, there are farmers in whole. Mr. Speaker, the entire whole municipality, they are not getting any support. And then you render Eric Opoku redundant at the ministry.
With 900 million.
Eric Opoku has been rendered redundant at the Ministry of Agric.
No, 900.
What a shame. Mr. Speaker, what a shame. And instead of commending Joseph Boahinedu's Cocoa Board for achieving the 1 million mark in terms of tonnage, they came here to attack Cocoa Board. They forgot about the success story and they forgot about the initiatives of the predecessors in that area. All they know is to attack and to lament. Mr. Speaker, thank God that this administration has only a term. Thank God. Thank God. Mr. Speaker, thank God that John Dramani Maham's government has only 4 years. Thank God that there's a new light ahead of us. A new light that will bring back hope. The true hope that the people expect. The true hope under NPP. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to exhaust the entire 40 minutes. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to exhaust the entire 40 minutes. Because Mr.
Honorable Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the minority must know that after me, the majority leader will come. Yes. And we are observing their conduct. The majority led by my good friend Governor Azaaa Budget must know that when I am done, their boss will come. So my backbenchers are observing.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order.
Mr. Speaker, it is very clear to us that our friends in government today were only interested in propaganda politics. They came into government with no clear plans for the people of Ghana. They came into government with no clear plans to create jobs. They came into office with no clear plans for the fisher folks of our country. They came into office with no clear plans for the farmers of our country. They only came to persecute, to arrest political opponents, and deny them their basic fundamental human rights. It is clear that this government came into being to kill private sector initiative. Is the reason why they are unable to tell us a single initiative for the private sector. I ask a question. What is the work of the trade minister? What is the work of the trade minister? They say they have an advisor for 24-hour economy. What is his work? And they've loaded so many people at the office of the vice president. Advisor here, chief of staff here. How many chief of staff do you have at the presidency? Mr. Speaker, the vice president has a chief of staff. The president also has a chief of staff. It's a matter of public record. Now, Mr. Speaker, they claim that we are going to form a lean government. Let me expose them. They have appointed more political appointees than ministers. Go to Jubilee. Spokesperson for this, deputy spokesperson, communication director, communication this, research that, research this. Oh, and then you claim that a lean government. Which lean government? Which lean government? So many presidential advisors, all coming at a cost to the country. Meanwhile, you promise Ghanaians a lean government. And Mr. Speaker, to worsen it, this government has demonstrated to be indecisive. The president is swearing in the deputy ministers 2 weeks ago, promised that he was going to bring a list of 4 deputy ministers to complete the list of nominees. Mr. Speaker, it's been a third week. Indecisiveness. They cannot. All the remaining MPs in this chamber are fighting for the 4 nominations. What is happening? All the great talents, the women in this chamber are not being mentioned. What is happening? What happened to the affirmative action law? What happened to the 30%? What happened to Hajia Ladi? What happened to Zanato Ajimanroles? What happened to Ellen Tosu?
Yes.
What happened to her? Oh, what happened to the women of substance on the majority side? What happened to them? A government of discrimination. A government of discrimination. A government of discrimination. What is happening? Today, the majority bench is so demotivated. So much stress. Their members do not know whether they are to move from the left to the right or to move from the right to the center. You have to get a godfather before you get appointment. Why? 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 Godfather, after you've all fought for power, now you need godfather, you have to be begging for board appointment. Why? If you don't have a godfather, they will consider you. Why? Why? The founder's daughter, not even deputy minister. Why? 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 Go to Western region. All the talent in Western region, no appointment. Why? 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 Go to Volta region. Vote to Volta region. Only 3 appointees in government. Only 3. Why? Why? What have the people of Volta done to you? Why? Why? Mr. Speaker, I end my skate.